Hello and welcome to a new edition of Polkadot news from February 2021, and every single month I'm going to try and do different news videos with basically updates from the Polkadot ecosystem. I'm going to be picking 3 different projects that I've spoken about that I have reviewed because it makes sense considering that you could watch the review video to understand what the project's about and then to go to the news on Twitter or simply just watch this video to be up to date with what's going on in February. And I think with one of them I really messed up. I probably should have covered it a couple of days earlier because we basically missed one of those mint drops, right? One of those lock drops where you lock your ETH and you get the token. And I'm going to be talking about that in this video, of course, but I'm going to kick this off with Plasm Network, right? Plasm Network are really big, right? A lot bigger than I thought. I've actually done a review on them late last year when they were doing that Ethereum lock drop where you could lock Ethereum for a certain period of time and then you would get a multiplier of Plasm tokens distributed to you. Now you could transfer those Plasm tokens, but you could not actually sell them on an exchange because they're not tradable on there. But now there is a version on Substrate too with Plasm, so you can actually swap those tokens over to the Substrate version, which means you can use the Polkadot web wallet to store your Plasm, not necessarily Ethereum, but you will need to get that Ethereum back, of course, when the timer is up, depending on your on the period that you've decided to lock it for. Now with Plasm Network, there are some big updates, and you're gonna really love this. You probably already know about them, but if you don't, if you've been told about it in a comment in a previous video like myself, then you'll be surprised too, because I haven't followed the progress closely, so that's why I really want to catch up with these. And yeah, so ZK rollups, this is like the first update of the month. ZK rollups are under active development. They've submitted a ZK rollups Web3 grant milestone today, and then you can find the progress here, which is basically what this means is that the Web3 Foundation, when the Web3 Foundation funds a certain project, and most of these are usually from the Polkadot ecosystem, they expect a milestone to be delivered on Git. So basically you need to have code proven that you've delivered a milestone, right? So what they do is they submit that code to the Web3 Foundation, and then if the Web3 Foundation are happy with that, then they're gonna get the next grant for the second milestone and so on. So the Web3 Foundation are not pumping lots of money in a project, right? Don't take it the wrong way. They're really clever. They're working in a kind of like a lock drop, right? Like a lock drop, like you're basically investing Ethereum to get a specific token for free, but then you get your Ethereum back at a certain period of time, right? So it's kind of the same with Web3. They're investing, but they're kind of getting their money's worth because they're getting the proof that this project is actually doing something, right? So they can also benefit from it in some way, right? So that's basically what this is right here. This is the first milestone that has been hit by Plasm Network or reached. Now, the next thing here, which was also from the 1st of February, is in relation to the Anchor integration. And if you haven't heard of Anchor, they're basically enabling easy node hosting and validating services for Plasm Network on desktop and mobile. So that's what they're trying to do. They're using Plasm testnet Dusty validator, and again, Dusty is one of those. It's like I think it's like a node that they're using or a network that they're using for testing purposes, because when they had the lock drop, the initial lock drop from using Ethereum, they also had the Dusty lock drop, which was used for testing purposes, just to understand how you can lock fake or testnet Ethereum to get testnet Plasm. I think that's what the purpose was. Now to move on here and to talk about the bigger update right from this month. Actually, we've got an even bigger update, probably the biggest one, which I'm gonna save for last, but just this one here, right? So Rococo testnet, right? So if you don't already know, I've covered this in a previous video where I've explained the list of basically when certain projects on Polkadot that want to become parachains are going to have to deploy to this framework, which is called the Rococo testnet. Okay, so what they're doing is they're basically integrating within Polkadot.js, which is the Polkadot web wallet, and they need to be parachain ready, right? In order to take part in a parachain auction, you need to be on the Rococo testnet, because what that means is that it means you're ready to generate blocks, right? And again, this is only on testnet. So think of it like the Ethereum testnet or maybe the Neo testnet or any other testnet from any other blockchain. Is the exact same with Polkadot's Rococo testnet, where every single parachain is acting like a blockchain. However, they're on the testnet. So they're ready. They're basically testing their technical, all their different features, all their technical features within the Rococo testnet. They've got plenty of time until the Polkadot parachain auctions kick off, of course. So Plasm are actually one of the first. They're from the first batch because all of these deployments are happening in batches. So Plasm is in the first batch together with Fala Network. Now in the second batch we've got Interlay, and then in the third batch we've got Clover with Hydra DX, I believe. And in the fourth batch, I believe we've got Darwinia with Crust. And then in the fifth batch, we've got, of course, my favorite project, which is Chainx, the bridge between Bitcoin and Polkadot, together with a few other ones I can't remember off the top of my head now. And then with the sixth batch is to be confirmed. So Chainx is not in the very last batch. However, Plasm was in the first batch. So here you can see that exactly on the 1st of February, they have deployed. Okay, so what does that mean? Of course, it means they're parachain ready now because they are testing on it, right? I'm not saying that they are ready right now, but they have deployed. They're testing, they're checking the progress, they're monitoring the network and so on. Now the next thing here is the QuickSwap V2 testnet deployment on Plasm, and that is also happening soon. I'm not sure what that is, but it is some sort of other testnet deployment, right? Apart from Rococo, I think QuickSwap also has something to offer, right? They are a protocol, and apparently they're a DEX as well. So we can see here, if we go to their page, they're saying here that they're decentralized swap liquidation, creating markets and staking protocol layer 2 on Plasm. Okay, so they're going to be the layer 2 on Plasm network. Okay, that's why they're also deploying their testnet, because now that Plasm are on Rococo, QuickSwap are also going to be deploying on Plasm. Now, there is an article which is basically a deep dive into the parachain crowd loans and how they work, but I've already covered that information. Now the next update we've got from them here is in relation to Paralink network. So Paralink's oracles will help dApps in the Plasm network receive reliable data feeds. So again, when you see all these oracle projects, don't get all hyped up because they all play a different role, and normally these oracles are not giant oracle solutions like Chainlink, right? Different oracles serve different needs, right? I've done a dedicated video on oracles, by the way. It's quite a long time ago, but the basic concept still applies. So this is just a data oracle. Paralink network is a data oracle which needs to help, or wants to help, Plasm network by feeding the data. So let's talk about the biggest news of this month, right? And you gotta see this because this is huge. And I'm just thinking here, will Chainx be one of the next? Or will Chainx get this kind of funding too when they deploy on Rococo? Is Rococo the magic name here, right? When a project successfully deploys to Rococo testnet, they're parachain ready, then they get the funding, or how does this actually work, right? I'm curious, but yeah, it's absolutely insane. Now, Plasm network will integrate a multi-currencies palette soon. By the way, if you're interested here, you can see XBTC, of course, which is generated by, who do you think? Chainx, you guessed it. There's also RenBTC here, which is the competitor for Chainx, but it's using a virtual machine. So they're going to be basically integrating a multi-currencies palette soon. So now we've got a new use case for XBTC, of course, for Chainx, for those that were wondering. Because until now, we knew that Akala Network are going to use XBTC in their DeFi dApp for loans used as collateral. And now we know that Plasm network are also going to use it, right? So pretty bullish on that. The more products on Polkadot that decide to use XBTC, the better it is for Chainx because it's going to get more spotlight. Now, the next one I want to talk about, and I'm kind of let down by this one, right? But I'm assuming, and I just like to think that maybe it's because they're not marketing themselves enough, right? And hopefully if they get to a point where they can market themselves a bit better, like Plasm network, Chainx might also make it in this one. But there's basically going to be an AMA, a joint AMA actually on KuCoin. So what does that tell you? Acala Network, Plasm Network, and Robonomics. So what does that tell you? Well, we know that Acala are extremely hyped because they're also part of the council. When I've done a tutorial, I think it was on the web wallet for Polkadot, I actually showed you how many dots Acala hold as part of the council, and it's insane. We're talking like over 1 million dots, right? So they're holding like a really large batch. So there's no doubt in my mind that they're gonna make it for the parachain bonding during the auction, right? Because it also depends on how many dots the actual project holds aside from the community voting. Of course, the community can help. The community does need to help up to a certain percentage, but it's also important to know how many dots the actual project holds, the project that wants to bond to the parachain. So Acala hold a ton of that, trust me, a ton of that. Watch that video if you don't trust me, and go to the where I talked about the council section, and you'll see what I mean. But yeah, why am I a bit sad? Well, I'm a bit sad because Chainx have not made it in this AMA. It would have been really nice, because this would have basically told us, and I'm pretty sure this is gonna happen, right? When Plasm are gonna launch, when Acala are gonna launch, when Robonomics have already launched. But I think that we're gonna see listings here. I'm pretty sure. I mean, why else would KuCoin even bother holding the AMA for the community if they didn't have any plans to list these projects? They know they're solid projects, right? They want to support the Polkadot ecosystem, just like every other exchange does. It's the year of the dot, 2021, no doubt about it. And this is the big one right here. This is the one that I wanted to talk about, and this is the reason why I've decided to do a premiere on this video rather than just do a video. Because I do want to be able to talk in the live chat in case you have any kind of questions about this, and I'm curious to get your thoughts live if you're watching this live while I'm uploading this in a premiere version. Now, what do you think about this? Like, Plasm Network raised $2.4 million from Binance Labs with Hashkey. Now that is amazing. So all of these projects, Binance Labs with Hashkey, DFG, Longcash, and Paka, will all work closely with investors to become one of the first Kusama Polkadot parachain. So this is absolutely humongous here, right? This is a huge investment. And I remember the devs from Plasm Network saying that they're only geeky devs, they don't care about finance. So here we go, they don't have to care about finance now because they've got the funding, right? Binance have made sure they've given them enough funding. So this is the biggest news here with regards to the investment that they got from Binance. So what does that tell you? Whenever Binance invests in something a lot, you could very well expect that they're gonna list the token too. So yes, do expect Plasm to be listed on Binance. I'm 99.99% sure this is gonna happen. Don't take my word for it, but I'm 99.9% sure. And it's likely that they're going to go to KuCoin too, because normally when they go on Binance and KuCoin held an AMA is like, okay, yeah, sure, we're going to list you too, and probably for free as well, right? So yeah, they're basically, these next tweets are basically just reiterating the same thing here. But now let's move on to the next topic and talk about Bifrost. Now these ones are going to be a bit shorter, these last two that I'm going to be talking about. So Bifrost had a mint drop and we missed it. At least I missed it, right? I missed it. I should have done a video on this to inform the community, and I've completely missed it. It's just I don't really go on Twitter that much anymore, so I think I should, because that's where they post all these updates. But yeah, I mean, they've held the mint drop, and we're going to talk about that as well when they actually held it. But aside from that, they've integrated with Zenlink with the DEX module, and I have covered this in a previous video where I spoke about Zenlink. And they've successfully completed the cross-chain asset transfer in Rococo as well. So that's pretty big, right? Bifrost are also doing that, right? So all of these projects that want to become parachains, all the serious projects building on Polkadot that want to be parachains, are deploying to Rococo. They have to, and that's when they come into the spotlight. Now, the second VETH mint drop is about to begin, was their tweet, right? This was on the 4th of February. Now, they've done this, they've held this on the 8th of February. So this was only 2 days ago. That's when they've held this with a total of 500,000 BNC tokens. So this is insane. Like, it's crazy. Like, how did I miss this? You know, I'm kind of hitting myself over the head now. Like, how did I miss this? Because I really wanted to take part in this, because I do believe Bifrost are going to do well, right? Pretty much most of these projects that are going to be building parachains on Polkadot, I think are going to do pretty well. Now, this is basically how it used to look, and I do hope, I mean, they've had 3 different rounds here. No, actually, they're gonna have 3, no, they've started the first round, then the second round, you could see there, this was on day 1, and then there's a 3rd round as well. So you could expect another one to happen. And hopefully it will happen. Hopefully it will happen, because if it does, then I'm gonna be ready. But yeah, I mean, they basically had, like, look, like, watch this. Mint drop is in about 3 hours. Okay, it's gonna happen at 2 p.m. UTC, and the event may end in a very short time, so get ready for it. It's a first come first serve. So basically they had a certain batch of tokens that they were distributing, and the first people that were quick enough to mint using Ethereum have managed to generate BNC, and they got their BNC airdrop, right? So that's it. So yeah, and you can see here ETH was pouring in, and this is of course when people find out, it's like like a machine gun, right? Every minute, every 30 seconds, you know, a transaction. And look at this, I mean, it's not even large quantities of ETH, right? Because now ETH is expensive, but I mean, you're seeing a lot of it pour in. People want to get in early, and people are probably delighted as well. So yeah, you could see here in all these different tweets that they were talking about that too. So yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye out to see if there's gonna be a 3rd one. There likely is, and if it is, I'm gonna be ready. If not, then so be it. You know, it's a missed train. We'll have to keep an eye and see how that goes. Now, the next one I want to talk about, this is the last one. It's in relation to Edgeware. So Edgeware are delighted to partner with with Paralink. Paralink is delighted to partner with Hey Edgeware. So a high-performance self-upgrading smart contract blockchain with on-chain governance. Edgeware will be a fully supported network to the Paralink node, and oracles will be integrated into it. This is for people that don't know what Edgeware is. It's just a quick summary. So we've got the integration again with oracles to, you know, to bring data. It's basically for data feeds, and I think Paralink network are going to be bridging to a lot of these. And again, the exact same, the AMA, we've got the AMA here, and what's interesting here is that KuCoin is conducting various MMAs with different projects. So I do wonder now, because this was actually happening today. This happened today because it was at 10 a.m. I do wonder if Chainx are next in the queue, and I really hope so, right? Because at the end of the day, they seem to be want to doing AMAs with all the wannabe parachains. So what's it to say that Chainx are not going to be next, right? When I saw this, I was kind of happy, right? Because initially I was like, oh, why? They're holding it with Akala, I get it. They're very hyped. They're holding it with Plasm, okay. But also with Bifrost, okay. So then I saw this one with Staffy and Crust and Darwinia, and we know that these ones are not going to be parachains until they're not going to be deployed to Rokoku, which is the testnet parachain framework or parachain network, until later on, right? 3rd batch. So, you know, or 4th batch. So Chainx as the 5th batch would likely mean that they're also going to be part of this AMA, right? So, and I really hope that they do. So I'm assuming here that KuCoin are going to be holding various AMAs with various projects. But yeah, let me know what you think, by the way. I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. And does this mean that KuCoin is going to list all of these projects for free, or do they expect a lot of money? Because we know that KuCoin charges an arm and a leg for a listing, is like 10 Bitcoin, if I'm not mistaken. And considering the price, I don't know if they dropped it or not, but yeah, anyway. Now there was another AMA, well, there will be another AMA which is going to be held tomorrow, and this is on Paralink Network's Telegram channel. As you can see here, it's going to be at 5:30 a.m. PST, Pacific time. So yeah, I mean, as you can see, all these projects are trying to market themselves, right? They're not sleeping. They're marketing themselves. They've got AMAs, and exchanges are looking for them. Exchanges are funding them. Exchanges are hyped about what's to come with the parachain auctions, and exchanges want a piece of that transaction, or out of those transaction fees, because exchanges know that if they don't do it, then smaller exchanges like MXC are going to win, right? So of course giants like Binance and KuCoin are going to want a piece of that pie. So they're thinking, why are we letting these smaller exchanges take that piece of the pie for us when we can do it? We've got the power, right? So of course that makes us bag holders much happier, because then, you know, when something goes on Binance, the price goes up, it gets into the spotlight. As soon as there's an update on Twitter, the price pumps 2x. You know how it is, right? Especially now that the bull market has started. But yeah, let me know what you think. I'm curious on to get your thoughts on that. But finally, just before I end this video, I want to talk about this interesting NFT project that I've actually saw when I was looking through various tweets. I saw that they're doing, it's called Polkadot, right? So what they're doing is they're creating NFTs from various Polkadot related projects. So there's one for Darwinia, as you can see here. This is how it's gonna look. And then they've got different ones. This is a Mantra DAO one. So you actually need to use the Mantra DAO dApp to be able to mint these NFTs. So Polkadot, I think, are part of Mantra DAO. I think they're part of Mantra DAO because I know you need to use their dApp. But I haven't personally tested it to see how it looks and how you can mint it. But it's just interesting, right? Look, they've got one for Kylie Network, the Oracle solution, Flash Fire. These kind of look like Pokemon, to be honest. But they're cute nonetheless, right? And where's the Chain X one? Where's the Chain X one, guys? Come on, mint that NFT, right? Yeah, as you can see here, there's one for Bondly as well. So yeah, I think there are NFTs for pretty much anything. If you're interested, again, not financial advice, they're apparently doing sale. Polkadot sale. And I think for Kylie Network, I saw a tweet that basically if you hold their NFT, which is this one, you actually get some Kylie tokens airdropped to you. So you're basically participating in the sale to get the NFT, and then if you hold it, you're gonna get, guaranteed, you're gonna get some Kylie Network tokens. So yeah, interesting concept here to market themselves, right? The fact that they're doing that, because people will be FOMOing in for sure. And I'm a big fan of NFTs. NFTs are great. I know some people don't like them, but I think that it's great because it basically incentivizes digital art. It incentivizes those artists that are talented and they've no other way to get incentive, especially now with coronavirus. I mean, who's going to be buying those paintings, right? Or those drawings? But now that everything is digitalized, and the fact that they can actually earn from this is even better, right? So yeah, I'm definitely pro that, and I'm going to keep an eye out on this project just to see how they're doing. But they're basically they're an NFT collectible card game with unique utility. Okay, so the unique utility is going to come soon, but for now you're just going to get the cards as part of their sale. So yeah, that's pretty much it from today's video. Again, let me know what you think. I'd like to thank you very much for watching, especially if you stayed till the very end. And thank you, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care, bye bye.